YouTube. How's it going? Well, as you can see, I'm out of heat in the garage. I did as much as I possibly could because I got out here and the heat lasted about 5 minutes. So I gotta get more propane probably tomorrow. But let me show you what I've got done so far. So I got that 7.5 inch rear end stripped. Tubes are ready. Just needs one final clean and then it's ready for its new marks and stuff to be welded to it. Obviously I have to take the spring buckets and the track arm mount off this rear end and then mount it to here. What I usually do with these is I will weld a bar across both buckets to keep them parallel, or well, not necessarily parallel, but keep them at the same level. So yeah, parallel with the axle. And I'll set my pinion height, tack them in place on the tubes there, and then give them a full weld. And that's done. So this is tomorrow's project. Hopefully tomorrow afternoon project. Another thing I'm going to be doing is we got rid of the S10 brakes, the big heavy drums and shoes and things, because we're going to be using the Chevette drums. I have to make this hole slightly larger to go over top of those axle tube ends right there, but the axles themselves are exactly the same dimensions width wise, and backing plate, bolt plate to backing plate, bolt plate, and the pinion is in the exact same place. So this is why this two-wheel drive S10 rear end works out so well. And then I have to re-drill the 5-lug axles for 4-lug, and then the drums need to be opened up in the center for that hub size. And I got to come up with the third member, because remember this has a torque tube that runs from about here on the floor to here on the rear end. And so I'll be doing something with this to keep that from changing pinion angle while it's under the car, but still allow the suspension to operate. Because it's going in a car, it's going around corners. So a little bit more on that here. That is sitting at the moment. And if you notice, got grinding and rust and dirt dust on everything in here, which is what sucks about working in here and doing things like cleaning these axle tubes off. In the same place I have things like open engine parts. It is what it is. Alright, back on this. Hey, coming dog. Alright. Yeah, I got one of my rear ends out here, still buried, but I got enough of the stuff in here sitting ready, so I still don't think I'm doing that today. I'm at least going to have the rear end ready to go in the race car by the end of the day with any luck. Let me get set up here. Alright, let me get you in here and show you what I'm doing. I got this one ready to go up here. I've got this one locked down on my table. So instead of welding a bar across these, my table worked out. These will sit in that spot once I cut them off of that axle tube. I've now measured my distance from tube end to track bar end and tube end to this side of the track bar end. I've also taken my angle measurement and an angle measurement off of the pumpkin. So now when I go to put the 7.5 up here, I can center it on these Based off my measurement, I'm going to take off of here and here, here and here. I'll take another measurement here to here, and the same here to here. Probably a measurement from here to here. And then I'll use my measurements that I took here, 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 and here to put the rear end right back in the exact same spot, weld it all up, and then all I have to do is come up with the third arm, which I will show you soon. So let me get on this, and then we'll come right back. Alright, so I've got the 7.5 there now. I've got the pinion shimmed up, or the pinion angle shimmed up. I gotta go up just another degree yet, but I gotta find a washer. I've got the buckets trimmed. Let's see if we can get in there. Minimal daylight between the tube and the bucket. About to tack them in place. So, tripping over things here. I got that to put on after I've got the buckets in place. So, coming along. So we've got everything welded. Check mark. Mount is on. The buckets are welded. This is all set. I've got a spot marked where I'm going to drill a hole for a through bolt, and then this is my maximum, well, my minimum amount away from the drive shaft yoke, plus an 1/8 of an inch to give me plenty of room past the yoke. Because somewhere in here I'm going to build the arm off of this to come up to control the pinion angle. So this is just going to be a torque arm setup, real simple. Now you got to clean up the ends of the tubes. I've got the backing plates marked as far out as they have to be opened up. And then I got to open up the upper holes, and these lower holes, what I'm going to end up doing instead of opening them up, I'm actually going to add material to the bottom of these so I can then drill the holes to match the plates, because it's kind of narrow in there. And it's either that or I use a carriage bolt on the inside. Then just use a nut on the back of that. Either way, it'll retain it. So whichever way I do it. But I got to open these up so they'll fit those tubes. And then the Chevette brakes just slide right over the S10 tubes. And that's serviceable with all S10 parts. S10 bearings, seals, just normal 7.5 stuff. And then you can put just normal Chevette brakes back here. At some point we're going to be upgrading this part. These wheel cylinders, they kind of suck. They've got the old GM clip style. I want to change these over to the later J-body style that have the bolt-in wheel cylinders. Same size wheel cylinders, but just different. They're different the way they retain. It keeps the wheel cylinder from rocking back and forth and wobbling the hole out, 1. 2, that gives you better brakes. So that's something that's something that'll probably get done next year. Right now I'm just worried about getting this together and functional. And so now I've got to take these axles here. And I think I'm going to weld the hole shut first. And then drill the pattern. That will make it the easiest, because what's going to happen is one of these ultimately is going to end up right here next to one and inside of this hole, and then there's going to be another one that's going to be like just real close. Might as well just go ahead and weld these all up and then re-drill the proper 4-lug pattern on it and be done. that may be something I find somebody to do this week. I may go ahead and weld them up and clean them up, but then I may take them somewhere and see if I can have them re-drilled so I can have them drilled properly so I don't have any wheel wobble. That would suck. So, otherwise, I will figure out how to make it work. There's plenty of material back here. I think that 4-inch pattern runs right on here, so another reason to have these taken and drilled, because this may need milled on this taper for the lug to sit in. I don't know, we'll see. Either way, that's where I'm at right now. So I gotta get these axles done. These axles will be on the back burner because that's something that I can do or I can have done. At the moment, I'm going to go ahead and finish this here, and I'm going to get the torque arm started, I believe. But I have to put some spring pockets, or some bottoms in these spring pockets, which I have traced out. I just got to cut them out, grind these out, and then weld the new bottoms in. So then this is ready to bolt right in the car. Then I can start putting it together after I paint it. I think that's it for right now. Alright. So now I've got this set up so it bolts on. Again, this is a prototype arm. This will be made better later, but for the right for right now, this bolts here, will also bolt here, and we'll triangulate from here to roughly about here, maybe a little further down. But I'm going to balance this torque tube from the stock rear end on here, so get kind of an idea where I'm going with this. Okay, so this distance here from the bottom of the torque tube to that pink line is the extra length that this pinion has over the stock one. So you can see what I'm doing with this. I'm going to be using that mount right there, or at least parts of it, probably the two sides, to build a new mount for that. So it should be plenty strong. So tomorrow I'll be doing the spring pocket bucket bottoms, finishing up a couple gussets down here and that brace bar, and mounting it. And this thing's ready to go in the car. Alright, so it's bolt on, it's lightweight. It has 3 points of contact. This is more or less just a brace because it really only needs these two as well as this here, but I have a brace across here. I drilled and tapped the case, but I will not be relying on just the case itself to hold the threads. I will be putting nuts on the other side of these. This thick boss though I will be relying on, even though I will be putting a nut on top of it. It's definitely going to be taking the brunt of the weight, but as you can see, it's real low profile, which is good because there's an exhaust system and things it has to work around, as well as this sway bar that's going to be in there somewhere, so I had to figure that out. I think I've got it pretty much placed out of the way. It'll clear the floor of the car. So we'll turn the camera so it's, so it'll clear the floor of the car, and then it'll run up and attach to where that torque tube's at. So I'll put the torque tube precariously up here so you can get the idea. Again, I've got a lot more length than I need. but this will be the new pivot position. And of course the drive shaft will run slightly longer. I may even cut a piece to brace in this corner. Matter of fact, I'm going to. I left it open in small pieces like this because I wanted to make it as light as possible while still making it durable. So I don't have a way to stamp things out. This is what we get. It's a prototype anyway, so as long as it's heavy duty enough to function and it doesn't show any fatigue. The next one will be made a little bit cleaner. But this is what we got. So I'm excited. Everything should work out real well. I'm going to grab this drive shaft over here. I believe this one I have over here is right. It has a GM slip yoke on it. It's like a slightly larger yoke. A slightly larger drive shaft diameter than factory. But let's see, we're going to come off the pinion here. And it'll travel about that much longer. I may still need to get a longer drive shaft too, but I think this is going to be my ticket. Alright everybody, well, it is late. I have gotten what I came to accomplish tonight done, and tomorrow is another day. So hopefully tomorrow I will have the rest of this rear end done and built and painted. Plan on doing a little bit of that first thing in the morning, and then the supercharger back there. I don't know if you guys can see it back there. Whoa! Yeah, back there. So I gotta finish the brackets up on that. Once I get the brackets cut on that and I get it welded, then I'll be mounting it on the engine, and then you guys will start seeing some engine go together. So until I talk to you next time, keep the shiny side up.